25th, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now, Black Ink Radio.
Peace and blessings, beautiful people. This is your girl, High Heels. Not for the shoes, but for the healing of energy, the teleportation of higher vibrations. Period. You are listening to Oracle Connect on Black Ink Radio. Today, I have a very special guest, Brother Blue Pillar, 44. So excited to have you here. Yeah, I think every week I'm like, I'm so excited for this, but every person that come on here.
Right.
Okay, so first and foremost, I have to do this for my daughter. There was an event called New Atlantis Rising that I vended at, and I brought her, and she saw you speak. Okay. So she remembered you, because they always be like, who's coming on your show? Right. So I was like, you remember the guy, the blue guy that spoke? So she was like, so I said, do you have a question for him? Yes. So she said, what's your favorite color?
And, people would think that automatically is blue.
Yeah.
But I actually vibrate more so with the color red.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm an Aries rising and an Aries moon. So, the color red is something I have a strong affinity to.
Interesting. I really, when she asked me, I was like, duh, it's probably blue. But no, it's red. So, wow. Yeah. I wonder, so what's your brother's favorite color?
Maybe blue.
Right. I was going to say, y'all really match each other. Y'all balance each other. Okay. I just had to do that for my baby because, yes.
And that's the whole point. The blue pill thing is it never is what it seems. Mm-hmm, you know what I'm saying? It's teaching us a lesson about not judging books by their covers, because blue is the color of illusion, and we live in the matrix. If I ask you what color the sky is, you're gonna tell me what?
Blue.
If I ask you what color the ocean is, you're gonna tell me what?
Blue.
If I ask you what color they told us the earth is, you're gonna tell me what? Because they say we live on a watery planet.
Right.
But this water ain't blue.
Right.
And we could go outside right now and that sky ain't blue either. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even when the sun is out, it just creates an optical illusion based on light bouncing off of it that makes it appear to be blue. Blue is a color that don't exist. So we are stuck in optical illusions. People think they deep, and I be like, like the shit is constantly reminding us that as smart as we think we are, the devil is in the details. So the things that we most often overlook is the keys to this matrix.
Yes. Wow, I share on that because that leads me right to exactly what I wanted to say.
Excellent.
Yes, because so we had your brother on a few weeks ago.
Okay, shout out to the red.
Yes, and so I said, with the dynamic between the two of y'all, I feel like red is like the lower three chakras. He's like the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus.
Yes.
Like he's how you're moving through this human experience. You know what I'm saying?
Physical matter.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you're like the upper three chakras. You're like the throat, the third eye, the crown. Like you're like our connection to the cosmos. Like I feel like y'all's dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's pretty much how it plays out. I represent, the higher spiritual powers, if you will, especially the intuitive aspect of the fact that, with Scorpios, in cardology, we would be the six of clubs with a messenger card, which is the highest intuitive card in that deck. So the majority of what I do, is by way of that connection to spirit, being a conduit and a messenger, for those higher faculties. And then, the whole aspect of the blue, tapping into the blue chakra, that once that information is channeled, how is it communicated? Not everybody knows how to translate. Not everybody knows how to utilize, language to contrast. And I use analogies a lot. Metaphors and things of that nature. I'm a poet, so I find a lot of different ways to communicate information from higher realms, higher density information, and simplify it and engage people, where they're at.
Yeah, That's why I'm really happy that you're here because, like, part of what I experienced as an oracle and stepping into my place as an oracle, I can't explain a lot of stuff. Like, I don't have the concrete, explanations. It just comes to me. And I feel like you really have that ability to translate that to the people, especially the people that don't believe in it or that don't get it. So, you know, when I activated in 2016. That's when I really
Dope.
like was like, okay, like I'm a medium, like I'm a psychic, like it's stuff talking to me. I'm not just tripping. Like it's something happening.
He was responding to your calling, right?
Exactly. But 2018 is where people always think I'm like weird when I say this, but Aleister Crowley literally called me and led me to the Thoth deck. And once I used the Thoth deck, like everything opened up and I began to channel and things I don't even know where they came from, what they were channeling to me. And then I was getting clients for my readings where I'm like, this ain't a person. Like this is something else from somewhere else. Like the visions and things. So now I'm at a place where I'm like, this is a galactic society we live in. Like it's not just Earth. Like it's like contracts happening, it's wars happening, it's treaties happening, it's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's a multiverse out there.
yes. And so I really would love for you to explain, like, even when it comes to Kemet, it feels like that's like a galactic, like, gatekeeper or something. Like the ancients there was so much connection to the others, especially like Arcturian energy, Pleiadian energy. Can you unpack that concept of a galactic society for me?
You know, I help walk people through these concepts by putting these words into perspective. Like a person might hear a word like extraterrestrial or alien, and they like, oh, they feel that we are having a conversation about things that are unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? But then when I explain it to a person, I'm like, you composed of water, primarily, one. You composed of stardust, two. You know, and you controlled by a mind. You know, none of those three things are from Earth, and that's what you primarily are made up of. And you're a host of bacteria. Even the bacteria ain't from here, and it's an ancient intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So that could be like an alien intelligence. We looking for things that are physical or identical to us. You know, people are controlled by parasites. You know, evolution wasn't telling the truth where they said the intelligence is based on brain size. You know what I'm saying? How can bacteria, how can viruses, how can, you know, these microscopic things control your entire, you know, being, your entity, and things of that nature. But there is a very, you know, vast universe that we are family members of, and Earth is like how they show in Star Wars. This is the throughway that everything comes through and passes through. You know, every terrain is here. You know what I'm saying? Is retrofitted to play host to a lot of different quadrants of space. You know, and entities that come from those places. And there's a lot of ways to get in here, and there's a lot of ways to get out of here. So a lot of things are here, a lot of things have passed through here. And we can see that by evidence of these civilizations that you speak of. There were high civilizations. And again, if we're to believe science, if we're to believe religion, like, you know, things don't go from low civilization to high civilization back to low. If things are moving along an evolutionary arc, you know, we should have surpassed where they were at in Kemet. You know, everything that I see about Kemet is like light years ahead of where we at.
Right.
In terms of intelligence, execution, understanding of mathematical high science principles without the academic schools or the tools. You know what I'm saying? We was already masters of that. You can't have a European esoteric Freemasonic community, even, you know, with Crowley and them got hold of, they were studying, you know, information that was available for 10,000 years probably. So you can't have a pyramid already built, and then as Greeks you come to Kemet and get the lessons and then go home, and then you're supposed to be a master. Who did you learn from then?
Right.
And they utilized this masonry to not be speculative but operative, because they built edifices that are still standing today. So why they not master masons? How these dudes running around in aprons all of a sudden is master masons?
Right.
Because they got some information.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, there has definitely been high civilization here, you know, and all of the books speak of it. You know, there's so much archive information, but stuff that we have access to today is just incorrect on purpose. You know, it's not by happenstance that we're being fed a false narrative. You know, everything that we've been told possibly is a lie.
Right. Yeah. That actually was something. I'm gonna go back to Crawley for a second. When I started to really identify and understand, I'm like, Hermetics seems to be Cometics. It seems to be just a little twist on the name instead of Thoth. It's Hermes. You understand? You see what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, everything did come from Kemet, because even with Crawley, that's how he wrote the Book of the Law. He went and sought these things out.
He got.
But he did too much.
He got communicated with by Aiwass.
With his wife.
His
wife. She channeled it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go back, because I'm about to go into a whole different place, and I'm like, let me stay on track, because I really wanted to go somewhere else. Well, actually, no, let's go there. So, you know, as I've becoming more awakened to the channeling, understanding these different messages, even with the Nation of Islam, you know, I had Brother Risa came on my show November.
Okay.
And after that, I really, like, there was all these different events that it just, for whatever reason, people from the nation was just all around me. And I was understanding them and feeling like a kinship. So I was like, let me really, like, dive into the nation. Let me see what this is about. So then when I saw Fard Muhammad, and legit just felt like something that just came to give information. You know what I'm saying? And the more that I dive in and I see that they really talk a lot about the mother wheel and extraterrestrials and mathematics. So it seems like they had a galactic messenger with the Book of the Law, with Thelamet. That was a galactic messenger. Then when we look in the Bible, people always have, it's a galactic messenger.
Always.
So it made me start to wonder, what is God really? Because, I mean, we grow up to think that God is like this thing, this one person, I guess, that we pray to, and he makes things happen. But at this point, it's starting to feel like I'm not quite sure if that's what God is. I'm like thinking how to say this the best way, the most, I
Take your
guess.
time. And allow yourself. Allow yourself to be explorative, you know, with your inquiries. You're asking a question, something's pressing on your heart. You know, you're like, this don't feel right. Is God an alien?
Well, it does feel like God is a multitude of galactic messengers. It feels like everybody, even when you look at the Hindus, theirs is like blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem.
I wrote a whole poem on this topic that you're speaking about. You know, I'm a minister.
Yes.
Right. So I was doing my sermon the other day, and it was on Father's Day. Matter of fact, I was at the park. And I was doing it outside, because it's the outside ministries. We outside normally on the south side.
Mineral Ministries.
Yeah, Mineral Ministries. And I was like, God don't got a mother. He don't have an umbilical cord. He ain't come from the womb. If we was created in his image, do we have a developmental dysfunction from somebody who programmed us that don't know the nurturing of a mother? If God never knew a mother, how can we be programmed in his image to know how to love our mothers?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm telling him about the drama I'm going through and shit, can he relate?
Right.
Like, nah, nigga, you had to have known it. You nigga, if you don't got a black mama, if we don't got nothing to talk about.
Right.
Because you don't know what I'm going
Because
through.
you really don't know. If you ain't got no mama, you really don't understand me or what
Black
drives
mama,
me.
though, yeah.
A black mama. You don't
It's
understand
different,
what drives
right?
me.
It's different. So I'm like, you know, is this why religion's so weird? You know, in regards to how they treat women.
Yes. Yes.
And subjugate her and put her, you know, in a subordinate position, where he contracted with her out of all of his species. Y'all got a contract with him. You carry his secret. You carry his covenant. I don't. I don't got a womb. I can't make life.
Right.
I can supply a spark, but I can't form and fashion. I can as a son of a mother, as a mom's son, I can duplicate your eternal process by being a mason, a mom's son, and creating architecture with speculative and operative masonry, right? Because all architecture, all buildings are based on the temple of man, but you naturally build that.
Yeah.
You know, that's your claim to fame in this universe. That's a pretty big claim.
Yes, yes. That's what I want women to understand too.
You feel me?
Yes, like with
and yeah, not to cut you. Nah, go ahead, because that's out of order. Go ahead.
I love that. When you be like, not to cut you, but I'm gonna cut you. But it's okay. I mean, no, say what you need to say.
Nah, go ahead.
It's out of order. What's out of order? I'll speak. See, the thing is, though, I do feel like women do need to see that, because they've raised us to not understand. Like, that's what I vibe with. Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that the woman is second to God. Like, we naturally have a connection to the cosmos. Just even to the fact that our moon cycle, like, I forgot who I was talking to, but they didn't realize that our cycle went with the moon. I'm like, the moon cycle is 28 days. Our cycle is 28 days. We are directly connected to the cosmos. Like, even when we go back to Crawley, his wife channeled Iowa. Was it Iowa? Iwas. His wife channeled that, not him. Like,
right.
Men, y'all have the ability, but we have the natural ability. That's why it's called women's intuition. Because we have it, we're naturally connected to the cosmos in that way. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, you're wired by way of your the right hemisphere is intuition, right? So, just the whole aspect, and when we speak about energy and you know, feminine and masculine, again, that's not speaking necessarily to gender, but speaking to the charge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that particular side of the brain more so deals with the feminine aspect of the brain, deals with intuition. You know, women as technology, you know what I'm saying? The fact that you have a mind in the womb, that's like almost two wombs. You know what I'm saying? And both of them are magnetic. You know? So your ability to attract, your ability to renew your iron content in your blood and have a stronger magnetic field, so your auric field goes further than men automatically, which makes you the one who comes into contact with cosmic information first, because your magnetic field travels further, so your intuition is automatic. It's almost like if two people are jumping for the rebound, you got the higher ups. Right. By default.
Right.
Because your iron is richer than ours. Every 28 days, when you renew your blood, you renew your iron, your blood gets richer and richer. So when your heart is pumping your blood is richer in oxygen and richer in iron. So your magnetic field goes further and further. You know, you cast a web that's wider and wider, so you get the information first.
Right. Wow.
And the manna comes down from heaven.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
That's why, you know, when we was understood your majestic role, you know what I'm saying, and we was running numbers, we was getting that bread back then. Right?
Right.
We gotta come to you first.
Right.
Right?
Like, let me
Because
get
mama
the
get the numbers.
Yes.
From what? Intuitive dream state. She wake up like, oh, hold on.
Yes.
It's like this, and they run straight to the spot, right?
Yeah.
Poppy.
I feel
right?
like, but see, that's what makes a man strong, though. I'm telling you, once a man aligns to his woman and really taps in and allows
technology.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Why the white man know things about her that you still ain't catch on to. He put her on the registers. He put her in front of the office. He'll make her the face of the corporation.
Right.
Right? And you ain't figured that out yet? You think that he's just doing that to separate her from the... He's like, no, nigga, you using her wrong in the relationship that she's the computer, she's the cash register, she balances the books, she keeps the records.
Right.
Right? You forget shit, she know where you put it. She got a better memory. Her hippocampus is working.
Yes.
She got mitochondrial memory. I'll put her in front of some shit and she technically don't know how to do it and she'll know it in a day. Right? How do you do this? And we still ain't asked the right questions.
Yeah.
So, and I had to watch this shit all my life. Niggas not getting it. And I'm just like, damn, y'all.
You got to tap into your female.
Then,
that's your superpower.
Yeah, then you try to explain it to them and they think that, you know what I'm saying? You just out here trying to get panties.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No.
And I'm like, nah, that's not it. Like, she's a whole technology. She's a whole, spaceship that, you feel me? Like, I be thinking the pyramids is a spaceship that's untapped.
Yeah. Yes.
I seen Indiana Jones, I think it was the Crystal Skulls, and they activated them. They put the 13 skulls in place, which is another feminine number, right? They put the 13 skulls in place and activated it, and it started spinning, and the pyramid took off.
How is 13 a feminine number? You said 13 is a feminine number. It's like, how is it a feminine number? I've never heard of that.
Because it equals 4.
Right. And so 4 is a feminine number?
Yeah, 4 is the door.
Oh, wow.
4 is the fourth orifice, which is the womb, right? The fourth cavity is the womb. So 4, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 2 times 2 equals 4.
Right.
So that replication, that duplication is the number of life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
4, and of course, with my research and studies with the 44, yeah, 4 is a very, very feminine number. It's matter. Deals with the mother itself. Cancer is the 4th sign. The moon,
so,
the home, the mother.
You brought me to something about
That's
the 44 resonation. Okay, so I took your lecture. It was the Law of 44.
Yes.
And because I was like, what is a 44 resonator? And once I got through that lecture, what I took from it, and this could probably not be what you were trying to put, but what I got from it, that 44, it resonates with Christ consciousness.
Absolutely.
And that energy of Christ consciousness, even though like how Jesus, his name is 444 in Gematria, right? So I'm gonna bring it back to 2020 when the pandemic hit. Like everybody was getting these downloads. Like I had Sister Marlena on here a couple weeks ago, the one that she did Lakes of Somerville.
Oh yes.
And
Marlena,
she was talking about shout out my beautiful sister. But she said that she was getting the download about the land, and a lot of people were getting this just wanted to plant. Everyone was like, let me grow food. Like that was just a thing that everybody really got that download. But
I relocated to Atlanta in December of 2019 to do hemp farming, and we had 100 acres in South Georgia that we were supposed to appropriate for farming, but it was a 400 acre lot, so I had all type of ideas for food and housing, and the same thing that we see with Somerville and everything. Like those were the ideas that I had about community. And me relocating here to put that plan in motion. So yeah, please continue. I'm saying all that to say I can relate.
Yeah. I mean, so I got a different download. Like when the pandemic hit, my download specifically was to raise your vibration. And it said, raise the vibration. That's the only way that you're not going to get sick. That's the only way that you're going to survive. And I had like these knowings of like mind control and like needing to raise your vibration to get around that type of mind control. So when I saw y'all activating the crystal, I felt like, okay, did he get that? Can you explain, because there's a need for that. Like I feel like we need power sources like that to be activated for us to be able to tap in and help awaken us, right? But can you explain what Stone Mountain is and why y'all were activating that? Because a lot of folks from Atlanta, like, we just see Stone Mountain and it just be like, you know what I'm saying? It's Stone Mountain. We've grown up with this. But you found an actual source of energy there. I would love for you to explain that.
Yeah. Admittingly, if they're telling us that the KKK formulated their or resurrected their organization on it, then you're telling me that that's the battery of white supremacy globally, right? So if they can see it as a power source and it's a crystal, you feel me? I already know what quartz do. I know what crystals are. I know what granite is. You know, I know all of those properties. I know what mountains represent in the spiritual sense. I know what a crystal mountain in the middle of a forest, on the top of a, you know, at a high sea level, in a place called Atlantis. You know, I know what all those things, all of that means something to me. I know what the 33rd parallel represents. And I know about the folklore associated with this place since, for like, going on 15 years, maybe. You know what I mean?
What's the 33rd parallel?
Well, again, if we look at the globe, there's longitude and latitude lines. So there is a parallel line that's called the 33rd degree parallel line. And some people say, they wrongfully say that it runs from Kemet all the way here, and Atlanta and Egypt is on the same parallel line, but they're not. This is the 33rd. Egypt is the 29th. But nonetheless, there are other very strong energy centers around the planet that are on the 33rd parallel. Like Atlanta's on the 33rd, Phoenix, Arizona's on the 33rd, directly connected. So these are seemingly unrelated cities, right, on two separate ends of the country, but diagonally straight. You could go in a straight line and you'll connect the two of them, and both of their motifs is the Phoenix. Atlanta's the Phoenix, right?
Right.
And you got red clay in Atlanta, you got red clay in Phoenix, Arizona. You got mountainous regions here, you got mountainous regions there. They found gold in these mountains, they found gold in those mountains. When you take an airplane from Phoenix, I left at midnight on a red eye. It said that I left at midnight, and 3 hours later I was in Atlanta and it was 6 a.m. But it only took me 3 hours. So Arizona is technically 2 hours behind Atlanta because they're on mountain time and they don't change their times. They're the only state, them in Hawaii, part of the last vestiges of the kingdom, right? They don't change. They don't follow white man time.
Right. They don't do that.
They don't do that. They like, nah, we're not acknowledging that. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like you will go through a portal. You will leave there at midnight, go directly across 3 hours, jump through a time portal, and you would gain 3 extra hours and be here, and they would say that it's 6 a.m. So, you know, these are just interesting observations that I make about these energy centers. Vortex, because Arizona's a known vortex.
Yeah, Sedona.
And Atlanta's a vortex. This is a enchanted forest on top of a mountain, you know what I'm saying, at a very high altitude. This is not down south, it's up south. In New York, is down north. That's another way that they got us upside down. We don't even see geography. We don't understand topography and how the maps actually work. New York is at sea level. It's not up north.
Right.
We are on top of we are 3,500 feet above sea level on top of a mountain. We are up south.
So we're up south. Right.
Yes. Just like Kemet.
So we're okay. I'm gonna take it back to this crystal in Stone Mountain. What is the activation? What did y'all do when y'all activated?
Again, you know, being that it's a quartz, and people would always speak about it's hollow. You know, we rung it like it's a bell, and we just creating a new resonant frequency to say that if someone has a resonance on it, if you could phase conjugate that resonance by your claim, your resonance, your tone being stronger, your claim being more supreme, your intention being more pure, you should be able to push out whatever resonance is lower frequency, you know, so we have to continuously treat that mountain like a bell. And my whole thing is like, if those women had to lose their lives in Buffalo because of, you know, propagandist, racist, white supremacist stuff that was coming out of these organizations, you can't hide in the dark. Like, they should have to hear these names every day. They should have to hear us beating on drums. They should have to hear us. You feel me? How dare you have your battery for your white supremacy in the backyard of where melanated people is at?
Right.
You feel me? It's a lot of caucasity.
The caucasity.
Right? That has to get called out. If we want to do something different, we got to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, all right, you know, we identify that crystal for the power. All crystal holds memory, right? But all crystal holds frequency. And with granite, it creates something called piezoelectricity. And piezoelectricity is that when you put pressure on a crystal emits biophotons. It emits light frequency. You know, so us just, again, celebrating, chanting, beating on our drums, you know, grounding on that mountain, and just putting our intentions, our mental visualizations through our meditations, you know, just drilling into that rock. You know what I'm saying? And waking that rock up and letting it know that its children is home and it's time to take back this stone. Like, yeah. You know, it was originally called Crystal Mountain, not Stone Mountain. They stripped the crystal off the mountain, quarried the mountain, sent all of those rocks to all of the federal buildings and other prominent buildings in this country is built out of that rock. You know what I'm saying? So every time they ritualize their rock, it's almost like they're ritualizing wherever those rocks is at, these federal buildings, these courthouses where they, you know, slaying people, giving them football numbers.
Right. Right.
You know, so it's a, you know, the enemy is not a hillbilly like people think. You know, they're occultists. The KKK is an esoteric organization fronting as a Christian brotherhood. But Albert Pike was an occultist just like Aleister Crowley. These are the Grand March. These are the Confederate captains / you know, Grand Dragons of these organizations. All of these organizations are cult.
Right. Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, everything is cult. Like, I do believe that they knew our divinity, and that's why they really suppressed us personally. But as I take it back, so for somebody, I feel like this. Atlanta is a place where you would expect people to be conscious, right? You expect them to be activated because this is where the civil rights movement began. Pretty much. This is the heart of the civil rights movement. But I feel like ultimately most of the people in this city are asleep. I feel like, how about this? I'll say that they are awake, but they're not activated, as we talked about. And I'll restate it over here to be redundant. But I say that, you know, you can be awakened to things, but people don't activate to it. You know better, but you don't do better. And I feel like Atlanta is that place. But I feel like we need to activate this city the most that we can. We are here, and like I hear you and your brother both say, like, Atlanta, we doers. Like, we are doers.
The doers.
But
it's the land of the doers.
Like, I mean, but
it's not easy to do. This is a transient city. Like, I've been coming to Atlanta since '96. I was in the underworld in Atlanta, though. You know what I'm saying? So I know what moves this city. You know, the city is moved by its nightlife. This is a nighttime city, and it's a transient city. People don't come here with their parents. They come here to get away from their parents.
Right.
You come here to Atlanta to be what you always wanted to be. And, you know, we got to want what we want stronger than the other forces want what they want.
Right.
You know, ignorant is bliss. It's a 24/7 operation.
Yes.
They do it in shifts.
Yes.
They don't take no breaks.
Right.
You know,
All day,
consciousness
every
is,
day.
you know, prayer rising. You know, you go to sleep and you wake up and, you feel me? It's something you put on like a uniform per se. It's like you have to have the stronger claim. Your ritual has to drown out with the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You got to be so adamant about this that you creating culture, because this is a vortex city and you get swallowed. So you come here with one intention, and then you like, all right, I want to mix it with ratchetness, and it's like, yo, you're gonna get compromised out here. You can't cut corners. It's a feminine grid. The 33rd is a feminine number as well. So this grid is ruled by dominant, strong feminine energy.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yes.
And even the men, they have to figure out how they're gonna navigate and work with that energy per se. You're not necessarily gonna suppress it. You know what I mean?
I mean, but the men are feminized. We see the feminization of the men here because they have to balance that energy. I mean, I guess the thing is, for me, how are we to assist in activating the people here? Because the more and more that I step over to other realms outside of the conscious community, I just really get to the point where I'll be like, you kind of just stuck like where you are. But then my heart don't want people to be stuck like that. You know what I'm saying? So what
I think, again, like I said, being here through different phases and moving through different worlds, I think that they conscious to what they're conscious of. Just it's just different levels of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might not necessarily be all the way on what we on, but they conscious of nigga shit. They conscious of ratchetness. Like, they're fully aware in that world, right? They're presently present for the most toxic shit. They're present in the most toxic conversations. They're at the front row of these shits, right? They're tea sippers in every motherfucking tea sipping conversation, right? So they show up.
Right.
It's just, look what they showing up for. So that deals with their priorities, their values, their self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to meet people where they're at. Like, now, you can't be throwing shit at the effects and at the cause. They're already 600 feet out to sea, swimming with no life jacket on. Like,
about to drown.
Yeah, so
and
it's
don't
like,
want, and
don't want to be rescued.
Right. Okay. Well.
Right.
Yeah. So.
In a stupor.
Yo, for real. Like, you be like, bro, like, you don't see what's happening. Like, I don't see.
But again, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
So they're, I remember being asleep.
Yes.
I remember being asleep, and I remember the divine intervention. I remember the things that used to happen that you couldn't explain. You just be like, oh, okay. It was dumb, but it was safe because it was so dumb. I didn't burden myself with attempting to know why. Right. I just knew that, you know what I'm saying? It just, death just missed me.
Yes.
Let me go on to the next death-defying, death-daring thing to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't strong enough to wake me up from it. It just, you know what I mean? It did teach me gratitude to a degree. I just like, it's just shit that's happening that I can't explain. And if I slow down and try to do this, the shit that's happening might catch up to me. So let me just continue to be ignorant.
Right. It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
It's easier. It is much easier.
Because then I remember pumping the brakes and saying, enough is enough. I need to know. That shit was hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, everything catches up.
Yes.
Right? You pumped on brakes and all that shit that you was you was dipping and dodging it, and then it catch up, and then now, you know what I'm saying? You got to shift through that. Like, was your crash, can you, how people be like, yo, I was in a car crash and the shit got totaled and 2 people got killed and this nigga walked away with nothing. Yeah. That's a perfect analogy to what I'm talking about with this transformation.
Yes.
When you going through it, now you want to know.
Right. Like, what happened?
Now you just don't want to be dumb to the fact that God is looking out for dummies and babies and women, and you just might be one of them, and you just getting a look. But now you want to be purposeful. Now you want to own it.
Yeah.
Now you want to know because you want to explain it, right? You want to be rational. Now you're going into that other part of your brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to be analytical. Now you in the left part. Now you got to deal with this masculine energy. You know, this shit is gonna be on you. Now you in that phase, that Saturnian phase. You going through some things. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna make or break you.
Rich Mo, I want to ask you a question. Cause I would let you be quiet this whole time. I said, "No, let me tap in Rich Mo real quick because I'm gonna be straight open. The brother Rich over here, like this, he's really what brought me to Black Ink because I saw a picture of him and I felt something about his energy.
Yes.
I feel like he is like on this place where he's on the verge to unlock himself, right? So have you had experiences that you've been like, something is calling you, something is telling you something, but you don't really know what it is? Like as he was just explaining, where he was just like, sometimes things will happen that are unexplainable. Like I said, I've had multiple awakening situations in my life. Like when I was 15, definitely an awakening situation. Around like 18, 19, I had an awakening situation until finally.
Describe these situations so I can know, you know.
Okay. Right. So the main one, when I was 15, I had what they call a bad trip on acid.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I took way too much. I was 15 and I took a lot of acid, and but at the time, like I said, I didn't activate to the fact that I was a medium. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, I was at my friend's house and her dad had died in the house. So every time I walk by this door, I'm hearing somebody talking to me. And eventually it got to the point I'm seeing fractals, but I didn't know what fractals were at the time. So I'm just seeing shapes. I'm seeing bugs. Like it was just an overload. And then eventually it got to a point where I see by the morning time, like they just showed me something. And I don't know what they showed me, but like I just couldn't stop crying. Like I mean, like I was like, like crying, like crying. And I was walking, and as I was looking at my feet, it wasn't my feet, like it was man's feet, and I felt that it was Jesus. It was like a whole awakening. Like even after that, I would pop my neck randomly and then be back in the trip. Like I was like constantly on a search for what they were showing me. But of course, you know, they told me that it was residual schizophrenia, and they was like, no, that wasn't really what happened. You know, maybe you were thinking Jesus because you were going to go to church the next day. Like, you know, how they rationalize your visions. Right. But after that, I mean, yeah, that was an awakening moment, because I was like, yo, like something that was definitely intervened in that situation. But I didn't want that. So, you know, I was 15, 16, 17, so I pushed that to the side. Yeah, I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? And then finding my mother dead, that was 2012. That was definitely an awakening moment. But still, instead of activating to it, you know, instead of, because right after she passed, right after that, like maybe about a few days after, my guide, he showed himself to me. Like the man that's been haunting me my whole life literally showed himself. So I seen him with my eyes. But instead of running to it and trying to decide, like, what is this? No, I started doing Molly. I started partying. I was at the strip club. Onyx, they knew me by name. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to it, I ran from it until I got to the point. So I'll say 2014, I tried to kill myself. So then that's when I was like, okay, nah, like I want to live, you know, because I missed her too much, and I just felt like I really didn't have nothing. So then 2014, when I tried to kill myself, I was like, nah, you know, I want to be there for my baby. Like that's right after I had my daughter, like 2 months after I had my daughter, and so I was like, nah, like I need to be a mom. So by 2016, like, you know, I started to really deal with the cards, and then by 2016, I got a reading from a friend. Well, now she's a friend, but it was a psychic medium, and she confirmed everything. Like I went there because I was like, I just need closure from my mom. Like I was like, maybe she'll like find a way to communicate. But as soon as I pulled up to the woman's house, it was like instant. Like I was settled with my mom. So I'm like, so what am I here for? Like, why am I coming to you? But long story short, she confirmed a lot for me, and that was when I was like, I have no choice but to do this. Like I'm a medium. Like they've been training me, they've been
Answered your
showing me,
calling, right.
and now it's time to do it. So
Excellent.
yeah, that was an interesting path, but.
I mean, I've never had, I'm wrong to say never, but situations like that where absolutely hearing voices or seeing things like that, no. I ain't going to sit here and say that's ever happened, except once with Black Ink Radio, when I told you how that started. That was definitely I never experienced that before. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, my mouth was talking, but I was listening. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like I'm sitting there literally listening to myself talk and interested in what I had to say. And then it will open my eyes up. And then it said Black Ink Radio. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was beating me up about not following what I came here to do.
Dope.
Like he said, I came to Atlanta to do music, but I'm here. I was managing a tattoo shop. So it was like, you don't know how to do tattoos. What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you still doing that? And what's the future in that? And blah, blah, blah. And what are you supposed to do a radio station? What happened to your friend with this, that, and this? And then, boom. You know what I'm saying? That's when that came. And actually, I was on some E-pill or two. So it was like, you know, I couldn't sleep. And it was just like, boom, that happened. The only thing I can say that's happened throughout my whole life is I learned very early that I get warnings on certain things, and I just learned to be able to see it. Because when I had my first big accident, something happened in the beginning. You know, I was riding a dirt bike, and it fell from under me. You know what I'm saying? And I got up, I was good. But then something told me, you know, just chill. But no, I wanted to ride anyway. And then I actually ended up riding and crashing real bad. Broke everything on my right side. Then after that, I used to always see the time, 1, 2, 3, 4. So after that happened at 12:34. So then now I'm in my house one day and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm looking at the time. And I'm like, I should get up and go, because I felt like that's what that meant to me. Get up and go. Wherever you at, just leave at that time. You feel what I'm saying? And I didn't. And then my friend got shot. He came to my house. The cops raided my crib. Boom, ended up going to jail. So after that, whenever I saw that time, I would leave. You know what I'm saying? Then I started to notice little things, like if certain things happen, I would think of a bigger thing that could happen, and then, you know, I kind of feel like it's what you were saying. Like, I'm not in tune with all of that, like I could be. So I just feel like it's God taking care of a dummy in a sense, that don't know much, but just protecting the person.
Right.
Because even my first and only job, it was just like boom. My mother went and got me an interview somewhere, you know what I'm saying, because she had pulled at the hospital. And I'm about to go out of town with my friends because my man just got jumped. You know what I'm saying? And my mother was like, no, you got to do this interview. I was going out of town making mad money. I didn't need to go to no damn job. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to do the interview for my mother. I'm not taking this job, though, but I'm going to do the interview. So I told my friends, like, yo, I'm going to stay back. And they was mad, like, damn, we got to go ride out for the nigga. We driving all the way to Pennsylvania with some guns. Long story short, all these niggas got locked up on the highway, and I stayed back for the interview. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm the only one that didn't go to jail. You know, so a lot of things like that happen, like really on that level where, like you said, you know, could have died. My friend, my best friend in Baltimore, I'm out in Baltimore hustling, and I just feel like I was going down a lot of the wrong paths. I'm out in Baltimore hustling, and I got called to do a studio session with Cool G Rap. Now that's big if you're a rapper, Cool G Rap, nigga they named the game after. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, should I do that? I left to go do the session. He died that night. And then everybody, imagine being at somebody's funeral and everybody's like, yo, I'm surprised you ain't laying next to him. We was inseparable for a year. That was the first day that we wasn't together.
Right.
Because I left to go do the studio session. And I got a call in the morning like, this nigga, they found him dead. You know, he was going to meet somebody that I met. I'm the only person that knew that dude. And I was supposed to, I would have been with him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just a lot of that happens.
Yes.
And I just feel like I just don't know, you know, nobody's ever spoke to me. I ain't afraid of it. But, you know, ain't nothing ever revealed itself to me or anything like that. So I don't know, but
yeah. So you pretty much just said multiple times that you had some moments that we just described.
And there's a lot more, trust me, a lot more.
I got a moment because I'm gonna be real with you. Somebody on my live said, "Girl, you was high," and The reason why I'm frustrated by that is because when I hear people make fun and joke of what we do and what I am, I'm the motherfucker that's going to save you one day. I'm the person in the energy that will protect you. And so when you think things are funny, because I know the person, and I feel like when people are so stuck in Jesus and in the church, you stuck in the white man's religion that he gave you to help enslave you. When you're so stuck in that and you mimic or you mock people that have elevated outside of the construct of the matrix to help awaken you.
But sometimes they don't get it because like you and like myself, like we've have found breakthroughs in what's considered to be lowly places. So it's not consistent with what they've been told with spirituality exists at. Like I was on a triple stack. Nigga, when I had my Kundalini rising. I was 25 in Miami. I was on a triple stack.
Ooh.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I ain't never been the same. Now, I don't tell that story to endorse and to tell people you gotta
do drugs. No,
do drugs or to get on the edge. Right. I'm just saying, whatever that chemical concoction was, the way that it corresponded with me that day, and wherever the cosmos was at, God damn it, that was aligned. It was my time to have a transdimensional experience.
Right.
And this shit opened me up to the cosmos. I got downloads that, to this day I'm still living off that information.
Exactly.
That to me was so clear and concise. It helped clear up so many jams. And like you said, and then I can utilize even to this day to sit a Christian down and give them allegorical explanation of the script that's not literal, to be like, nah, they was talking about this. Adam and Eve was the atom and the positive and the negative. This is talking, like I got all these downloads.
Instant. I'm like, but it's just for me, I get annoyed really because I don't even know if they still lying here, but this is actually one of the people that gave me they gave me the Celestine Prophecy in 1999. So I know that there are people who they know the knowledge, but because they are now here in this, they stuck in this business, they stuck in this money, they stuck in this bullshit that they want to be in. I'm trying to understand why people will mock someone who has elevated themselves. Like,
because they don't see it as elevation. So at the end of the day, if they don't understand, you can't fault them for being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't understand, they're gonna make fun of. People make fun of things they don't understand.
Right.
Because
when
you don't understand, it makes you feel dumb.
Right.
Okay. And you don't want to feel dumb. You rather someone else feel dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you was high.
That's
I'm so
all right, whatever. But this happened.
Like, I mean, I know this isn't where I was trying to go, but I'm really over that. Like, I just want to speak publicly. Like, when you come in contact with people that are psychics, that are oracles and stuff, just because you don't experience it, don't mean it's not real. Like, we might be telling you something to save your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I might not even tell you nothing no more, just because you ain't even gonna take it anyway. Like, so maybe that message wasn't even for you. But like, it's not easy to really let people know that things from other dimensions talk to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine what it was like to tell my family, a devout Christian family.
But you know what though? Also, don't let her block the information that these people that you're giving.
Yeah.
Because all we doing now is talking about something that ain't got nothing to do with what we should be talking about.
Sorry, it's just because but it does tie into that.
Okay.
Because
it's part of it. Yeah.
The thing is, with what we're sharing, that can help somebody.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else could be like, yo, that happened to me. Like, maybe that is like spirit calling me to wake up.
Yeah.
And instead of allowing that to be a message, it's always that frivolous devil's energy. I call that the devil's energy. I don't believe in the devil. I believe in that energy because it's a confusing energy. It's a lie. It's trickery. And it's always, as soon as you see the God energy, that devil's energy throws into there. And that's what I want our people to see, the devil's energy. Stick out of that. That's what they have implanted into us. That's what they programmed into us. That's why all that stuff, when people be watching all that TV, I stopped watching TV in 2016. I stopped watching the news because it's programming you. It's a frequency. Like if you ever sit and watch TV all day and then you turn it off, it feel like that motherfucker let go of you. Like if, you know what I'm saying? Where it be
it's
like
whole energy on you.
Yeah.
It's the part, but that's what it's made to do.
Yeah.
It's made to captivate you and keep you in front of it.
Yes. And so it's just like when I'm seeing people just willingly like fall into it, I do get frustrated. Like I know my energy just shifted, but it just instantly made me mad because I just be like, I care so much about our people. Like I said, that red is the sacral, the root, and the solar plexus. Say you're the throat, you're the crown, you're the third eye. I'm the heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle. I'm the connection. Like I'm the love. I'm what really brings that together. That's what I feel. So when I get passionate, it's because I know I'm actually gonna ask you a question in a minute, because I see where we're going intuitively. I've seen it. And I understand the need for our people to activate. I understand the need for people to wake up and to really, because I see where they taking it. And so Malik, he said that you guys are psychics. That's what he said, y'all psychics. What do you see? What do you see? Where do you see us going after the age of Aquarius, after we saw the pandemic and we saw the shift happen? Where do you see our people going?
I mean, that's that's a broad question.
Okay. Where do you see the world going? Like, as far as what has come to you intuitively?
My intuition, my intuitive download came in December of 2019 when I was on my way to Atlanta. It was December 21st, 2019. I was on a China bus coming from New York to Atlanta.
Conjunction, wow.
Yeah, and I got woken up at 8:30 a.m. by the sun. It was beating on my face. And the sun was like, I'm about to activate, you know, inside of the people. The children of the sun are going to come online. You know, when I come alive, I'm going to come alive inside of the people, tell the people I'm coming. So I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off, you know, telling people like, the sun is coming. You know, I don't know whether that meant a second sun. I started talking about the second sun, but I really was telling people that there's a sun inside of you that's gonna come alive. You know, and I was talking about, you know, the solar plexus, the will of man, you know, our courage as a people. We were going through our Jubilee period. It had been 400 years since we had been in captivity. We just celebrated that. That's what they call critical race theory now. That was August 21st, 2019. When we passed that 400-year mark. So as the children of Canaan, if we want to talk biblical, because I'm like, if our people is enraptured in that book and they've spent so much time and energy reading it, studying it, you know, being all emotional, I'm like, all right, well, who will we be in that book? Since we're so enthralled, we got so much invested in that narrative. Who would you be in that narrative? Our people would be, you know, those people spoken of. That was in captivity for 400 years in a stranger's land and everything. And after you come out of that 400 years, you got a Jubilee period, you know, which deals with partying, atonement, settling debts. And then you go to a coronation period and you get the keys back to your kingdom. You get your crowning again. So that's what we went through in 2020, you know, in 2021. For the most part, there was a lot of incidents that led to that. And I was just tracking all of that activity and showing people how the cosmic narrative, you know, as above, so below, is playing out on the earth plane. And, you know, again, this is about your DNA. This is about your RNA. This is about, you know, that dormant part of you awakening and coming to life during this time when the sun is beating on people like it is. This is what I was talking about. This is what the sun told me it would be doing when it comes into its solar maximum, which it happened on May 29th, 2020. That was when the riot started. That was the first solar flare that happened since 2017 of August. It was the sun was dormant. It was dead. The minute niggas took to the streets, especially right here in Atlanta, that Friday, I remember it took place right down P Street, right there CNN. When they started turning up, Yeah, that's when the solar flare hit. You know, and I just feel like we've been activated ever since. And of course, you know, globally they ran a campaign to shut people's activation down, you know, with their consent. Like, here, take this shot, take this,
Yes.
you know, be a sheep. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? They attempted to knock as many people off as they could, you know, before the activation happens. So I feel that this summer is going to be pivotal in regards to us seeing some things about ourselves that either you don't like what you see and you're going to do something, or you don't like what you see and you're just going to die with that. But something got to give.
Right,
This,
a
the
pivotal point.
complacency is no longer, you're no longer going to be allowed to do nothing. You either going to transform or you're going to, you know, you're going to get transformed on. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at. You know, our people are going through, again, that scripture, that point where they like, you got to go through the eye of a needle and come out on the other side. That thing that you was truly destined to be, right? We human beings, but what are we becoming? You know, what are we being? You feel me? There's a lot taking place that supports the transformation. All of these cosmic alignments, these photon belts of light that we're going through. You know what I'm saying? All of these activating principles, you know, the extra DNA strands coming online. You know, these goddamn babies being born. If you need a better perspective of what I'm saying, you need some context, go find you a newborn. Go find you a baby. And go see that there's something different under the sun. These babies ain't never been no babies like that before.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Ever.
I've been hearing people say that a lot. Like, where they're
Babies
like,
is different.
Like, I think I saw a video where it was like a few days old, but what was up?
I seen them do
Neck
all
was
that.
supported.
I seen it on video and I seen it physically. So I know, you know, that as a people, we giving birth to something new. We are something new already. We just don't understand the fullness of it. We still shifting through our bacteria. We still shifting through our parasites. We still shifting through our trauma. We still shifting through, you know, the voluntary shades that we pull down on ourselves, you know, just to deal with this matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that you can't openly practice, you know, what you know is your gifts and be appreciated for it. You know what I'm saying? We still live in a world like that.
Yeah.
So it's a veneer, it's a false, it's a fake world. You know, is it gonna fall by the wayside, or we gonna continue keeping up, you know, the fake falsehood that we know it don't benefit us nothing. It's like we tried everything else. Why don't we try the shit that works
Right.
for a change?
Yeah. We'll see how. Okay, we about out of time, but yes, I know. Talk that talk. Shout out Raheem Shabazz.
Oh, my brother.
Yeah.
Peace, God.
Yeah, man. I really, my hopes, and I hope that I can manifest the activation. I hope because what I've seen is not nice. What I've seen where our society is going is not nice, and I feel like
It's not supposed to be. It's
people like you are detrimental for us because you do and you choose to activate. Like that's super important. So I appreciate everything that you do. I
Thank you.
appreciate that you are one of the few people that you be on, because really my homeboy actually told me about you. I want to say that's 2010,
wow.
2011 with Know the Ledge.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, back it was long.
2010. Yeah.
Yeah,
Block Talk.
yeah. It was
podcasted before podcasting was a word.
Yeah. So y'all have been doing this for a long time, but there's a lot of people that you cannot touch. But you be with the people. You stay with the people.
I have to, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I'd be like, where else would you be?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's not for me. But while I don't get it, I also understand it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, access has its gifts and its curses. So I have friends that are in the space and they be like, yo, you got to be unseen. You know what I'm saying? You got to be inaccessible. You know, the people got to miss you or they not going to love you. And I'm like, nah, I've been outside like every single day since I was 13 or 14. I've never not been, you know, in the mix.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how to not be part of where the people are at, per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if I am isolated by myself, you know, I'm still with the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're always going to be in my heart, in my mind, in my blood. You know, it's just who we are. Like, I can't conceive of anything but that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's where we need you. That's where we need you. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. That's our time for today. Man, I really,
thank you.
yeah, I could vibe, man. It's a vibe. I appreciate the time. So before we go, we will see y'all next week. Next week it is 4th of July. So
Yes.
I will be having my brother Raheem Shabazz come on.
Raheem, yeah.
We're going to be blackety black. I was like,
Blackety
look, we
black
about
and
to be
talk
blackety
that talk.
black on the 4th of July because I don't respect the 4th of July. What is the 4th of July to a Negro? So, yeah. All my shit. And then also the homie Divine Rhymes will be coming in to give us some spoken word.
Can I end with a? We got time. I can't end with one.
Yes, please. Hey, okay, so wait. I didn't know that
in my bag. Yeah.
I didn't know you did this.
I do's this.
Let me see you do this. Let me see you spit
I
something.
do's this.
We gonna close with the brother Blue Pill spitting. Hold on, let me get this.
I
one.
do's this.
Hold on,
This
hold
I
on.
do's, you know. And I haven't been doing it enough. You know what I'm saying? But I might have a extra duper super appropriate one for this that might shake the world up.
Shake us. I'm ready to be shooken.
Ooh.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Let's do it. We might have to record this and make
Alright.
it a drop.
We call this On Brand. You ready? The brand of blackness has a black eye and black face blackened like salmon. High stakes like the kid from Akron rebounding. Boosting crime rates from kids rapping on albums, trapping the talcum. One side stories with half of the outcome. They never rap about Malcolm but speak of militants. Young niggas killing shit, drilling shit. The road to riches paved with ill intent. You can't build castles on mountains made out of molehills. There's no permanence to turbulence. We seen this shit before. There's nothing new under the firmament. They dismantled the whole bill like movie sets and left whatever's over on the shoulder like roadkill. We truly stress. It's traumatic to witness the static. The feds did a sweep. The shit was sporadic. They left shit scattered and tatted. The tough talk lost its luster and magic. Disruptor of status. Gotta suffer in tragic. Dynamic circumstances. Advantage is my vantage point. This man can point from the sidelines. Fuck coming off the bench. I chose to rob mine. Doing life in prime time will make the Lord repent. Granted, this is not the time for semantics. I seen slime shine on my timeline like ectoplasm. Them damn black boys, they some coke hustlers. They put slime in the backs like Dan Aykroyd and Ghostbusters. They took down the culture on a conspiracy rap. You was all party to the crime. These niggas seriously rap. They got you all on a conspiracy tap. The evidence? You holding one like a smoking gun. Your phone is one. Your attendance is ingrained on a blockchain. Your remembrance is contained in a drop of rain. Don't start sweating now. The wetter the brow, the drier the mouth. This how you hire the South to get the rest of rap inside of the house. To get all hit with a conspiracy trap. Who gon' fold? Who gon' crack? Who riding it out? I seen a game on his back passed out in the trap house. Law enforcement get to laugh out. To be a secret, you awfully loud in public forums, on the radio first thing in the morning, touring to arenas, unlawfully proud of scores of misdemeanors and felonies, lust, hate, envy, jealousy, the lesser gods. Hip-hop is dead and we on demon time, word to Escobar. So I'ma just spread my wings like an SLR and get extra far. I just gave you 43 of them things with an extra ball.
Hey.
Talk about it.
New shit.
Let's talk about
New
it.
shit.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Yeah.
that's okay.
And we want all the smoke.
Okay, hey, on that note, man, that's the show for today, y'all. Oracle Connect. We a vibe. We the spiritual plug. We the conscious plug. Go ahead. Who knew Blue Pillar had some bars? Go on. All right. Well, I will see you guys next week. Bam.
Peace.
Yo.
You are now tuned in to Black Ink Radio.